Hello, you're watching Let Them Talk TV, or perhaps listening to the Zeitgeist Banana podcast. My name is Gideon. I'm in Las Palmas in the Canary Islands, and today I'm joined in London by the wonderful John. Hello, John. How are you doing?
Hi, Gideon. Hi, fans. My fans. How are you doing? Everybody can see me. This is great.
Yes, I know. We're doing video today.
Wow, this is incredible.
If you are not aware, we have a channel called Zeitgeist Banana where we do a podcast. You can find it on iTunes and all your favorite podcast platforms. Let me tell you what people have been saying about our podcast, if you're not already convinced. So I have Maria S. She said, oh, quite good. Okay.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's a good one, that one, yeah.
Robusto Zapatero says, he claims to be British, but where is he from originally? Okay, maybe that one. And one more. Brummy Mummy says, John is the greatest genius the world has ever known. But could you tell him to come home soon? His dinner's getting cold.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Mum. I appreciate that one. Well, at least I've got one genuine fan, so I'm pleased about that.
Yes. And John from Monty English also has his podcast. Tell us briefly, John.
Yeah, so I have my podcast called English with Monty. We've not quite got to the video stage yet, but watch this space. We're soon to do it. So yeah, that's my English with Monty.
Okay, and do you want to know the theme for today?
I do. I'm not sure what the theme is.
Well, John, believe it or not, I am a little bit weird.
I can believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I travel whenever I travel, I travel with a red pen and my camera, and I look for English mistakes on signs around the world. And sometimes if I've got my red pen, it goes, no, that's not correct. But over many years, I've collected some very, very good signs. Some are funny, some are just wrong. And this is what we're going to do today. We're going to look at some of these signs and we're going to correct them together. Me, you, and the viewers and listeners out there. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, that sounds really good. But you're right. You are pretty weird. I mean, do you not sunbathe when you go on holiday?
No. I just look in shop windows and on menus and checking the English. That's how weird I am. Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. As long as you find it relaxing, then I guess that's fine, right?
Yeah. I should say also you see mistakes in England. Well, when I go to London, I frequently go to London. I also see lots of English mistakes. So it's not only in foreign fields.
Okay, well, I'll bear it in mind when I'm with you next time that you're not really paying attention. You're kind of looking for mistakes everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. And I would like to ask you, dear viewer, dear listener, if you have any signs or anything you've taken of English which is funny and wrong. I'm not talking about things that are intentionally funny. Like, for example, I don't know, save water, drink beer. No, not that. I'm talking about things that are just meant to be correct signs, but somehow things got lost in translation and it's just come out really badly. So you can send that to me, and maybe on a future podcast, or vidcast, whatever you call these things, we can do that too. So let's go on to the first sign. Are you ready to click on the link I sent you, John? Now, for the benefit of the people listening, I can say what it says. This is from Madrid. It's an old site. I don't think the hotel is there anymore, but it was called the Hostal Lucense. And in the sign, it says, speaking English, spelled English. John, can you correct that?
English. So there's no C.
Okay, but what about speaking English?
Well, perhaps the hostel is speaking English at this very moment. Maybe. Don't know.
I think they want to say we speak English.
Yeah, I think then that's what it should be, isn't it, really?
Yeah, but it's wrong on so many levels. Why I find these amusing because it's wrong on so many levels. Firstly, by writing that, it has the opposite effect of you want it to have. By seeing someone writing speaking English, obviously they don't speak English, so the people looking for a hotel are going to go elsewhere. Secondly, it's a proper sign. It's like a neon sign. They must have asked a sign writer to make it at great expense, and they get it so wrong.
Yeah, it's an odd one, isn't it? I mean, where is that located?
That's in Madrid.
In Madrid. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was that many years ago, or is it a recent thing?
It was that's quite a few years ago.
Maybe they've changed the sign now, hopefully.
But I'm not sure it's there anymore. But you don't need to know much English. You just look around and everyone says, we speak English, we speak English. They don't need, surely they could have consulted someone or checked something before just putting up this sign that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you should have taken it one stage further and asked them if they'd actually had anybody stay at their hostel that spoke English.
Yes, exactly. Oh, we saw your sign. We want to speak English. Yeah, my foreign accent.
But perhaps it's not designed for native speakers. It's designed for people just speaking English in general, and maybe non-native speakers are not so worried about that.
I don't think so. I don't know. Anyway, it's totally wrong. Totally wrong. They wasted their money and probably lost a lot of customers at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, in the next picture, John, this is the only one. It's the only picture where I'm in the frame, and this was when I was in Japan, in Kyoto, but that must have been about 15 years ago. And can you see the mistake there?
There's a couple of mistakes, but there's one mistake that's very rude.
Yes. Well, for the sake of listeners, you have to read it out. The mistake, the big mistake, particularly.
The big mistake. Well, I hope you didn't do it, but don't shit down.
Yes. This area is entrance, second floor, don't shit down.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if, yeah, I mean, at least you wouldn't need to use down, would you? I mean, because you can't shit up, can you? So, yeah.
Thank you for that, John. I have done some research and I know why they make that mistake. It's because in Japanese, you don't have the SI sound. There's no si sound. It's always shi. Okay. So maybe the person that was writing in English was sort of just always put the S and the H together. So that's how the mistake took place. But it's a bad mistake, isn't it?
It is a bad mistake, yeah. I mean, it's obviously a rude word and people shouldn't really use it. I suppose it's not a particularly bad word, is it? But it's quite comical.
It does look bad. John, I was in China a few years ago in Guangzhou. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And as I arrived in the city, the sign that welcomes me says, please don't stay here.
It's very welcoming, isn't it?
Fortunately, it's not the tourist office, but it's, I think it was the metro or the train station. Please don't stay here.
It's quite. It
didn't say Gideon afterwards.
In a way, it could be quite sinister, couldn't it? It could be like, yes, if you speak English, you shouldn't be staying here.
Yeah. It was a bit worrying. I don't know Chinese. What do you think they were trying to say there?
That's a good question. Please don't. Oh, it should be don't enter here, right? Because everybody's coming out that way. Is that right?
I'm not sure. I think it's like no waiting or something like that because people are moving out.
Okay.
So they don't want people to wait around.
Right. Yeah.
They're waiting in this area or something like that.
Yeah. No. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? It's a bit more polite than saying don't stay here.
I'm just thinking about all the frightened foreigners who are reading that sign. Oh my God, it sounds ominous.
Yeah, it is a concern, that one. But yeah, I think you were right. It must be about waiting.
The next one, John, is from Paris. And I'll read it out. Here, sail, cemetery map, postcard, Jim Morrison's T-shirt, English newspapers. Can you spot any mistakes there?
There's T-shirt with a double E.
I'm thinking of a particularly big mistake that could be misunderstood. I'm thinking Jim Morrison's T-shirt.
Well, I did think about that. I mean, was it his actual T-shirt that he was wearing when he died?
Exactly. That's my question. Of course, there are lots of mistakes. Postcard. They've only got one postcard, but lots of English mistakes. I do wrote that. But the funniest one, Jim Morrison's T-shirt. Unless they actually have Jim Morrison's T-shirt, he donated it to the kiosk next to Père Lachaise before he passed away.
Maybe that's the case. Yes. I mean, I doubt it. It'd probably be in, I don't know, a glass cabinet though, wouldn't it? And it would be millions of pounds, maybe.
Yeah. Well, for the sake of people watching, how should it be written?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
So, well, Jim Morrison T-shirts, you would say.
Exactly. Yeah. Jim Morrison T-shirts. Yeah. Postcards.
Yeah, postcards.
Yeah.
And newspapers should be together because there's two separate words there as well. So.
Yes. Here, sail. I don't know. So the next one is from Paris. As you know, I live in Paris. I'm supposed to. I'm in Las Palmas now, but at some indefinite point in the future, when I'll be heading back to Paris, and near our school on the Rue d'Aboukir, there is a cafe, and they have a sign up for the breakfast. Usually there are a lot of tourists around, so they put it in English, but obviously the person doesn't know very much English, or they've used a dictionary, because look what they've translated. They've translated, you can have a hot drink of your choice. You can have a fresh juice, fair enough, and a pastry. One of the pastries you can have is an increasing. What does that mean? An increasing?
Because I thought it was an increasing chocolate bread, which sounds very nice.
No, I think because croissant, it means a croissant, but it also means to increase something is croissant. This means to increase. So they've obviously searched in the dictionary, how do you say croissant in English, meaning increasing, and that's what they put.
Okay.
And also I should say that pain au chocolat in English is pain au chocolat.
Yes. Well, that's it. So we would say croissant and pain au chocolat, wouldn't we? So they didn't need to translate either of those two.
No, we'll actually really confuse the tourists rather than helping them. It's another thing, you're trying to help the tourists out and you make it even more confusing. It says, we could, have a pastry, but what's an increasing? Could you ask them?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, but often if I see these kind of situations and I see them trying to write in English, I would avoid it like the plague.
Yeah.
Would you feel the same way? I mean, would you avoid a place that got things very wrong like this?
No, I like it because of my aforementioned disability for checking the ground. But I know what you mean.
So you would potentially pity them and be like, okay, I'll go and help them and give them some business.
I have thought once or twice, shall I tell them? But I remember once in England, I saw a mistake and I mentioned it and they just ignored me. And so, no, I'm not going to do that. And I let them do it. It's not my problem. Yeah. But there is a problem of over translation. You see this all the time. I mean, in France, in every place, a pizza is a pizza. They know that. Sushi is sushi, that you don't translate it. But they think somehow that their food has to be translated. So they think, oh, croissant, all over the world it's known as a croissant, but they have to call it an increasing or a crescent. I've seen that. Or milk buffer, I once saw croissant translated as.
Milk
buffer. Don't ask me what that means. That's another way out of the way. They're always reaching for the dictionary when it comes to their pastries, whether they're just called croissant pain au chocolat.
I'm wondering whether any French person would come to England and try and order an increasing or.
Yes. Yeah, but that might have happened. I was looking in the dictionary and said, I'd like an increasing.
Yeah, could I have an increasing, please? They'd be like, an increasing what?
An
increasingly big coffee?
But one of the mistakes I see in Paris all the time, not only in Paris and other places, which I think would lead to customers walking away, is the word salty, because you often see in like crepe places, we offer sweet crepes or salty crepes, and that's not the correct word.
Yeah, that's quite bad, isn't it? Because you would think in that case there's too much salt and I'm going to be drinking. Whereas
exactly, I don't want to tell the savory.
Yeah, it'd be savory, wouldn't it? Yeah, the correct word would be savory. Yeah.
Yeah, but you see it all the time, and I'm wondering that they're going to lose customers just by writing that one word, salty crepe or whatever it is.
That's not a good word, is it?
I've even seen in a specialist place that does foie gras, they translate it as fat liver. And I don't think an English person or English speaking persons who saw fat liver would have no idea what the hell is fat liver. And it sounds gross.
Well,
that's foie gras, okay, but don't translate at all if you have any doubt.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because I suppose it is a direct translation, isn't it? But obviously people are like, foie gras, wow, that sounds great, but fat liver? Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so there you are. So one of many all over Paris, you see these kind of signs. So I thought I'd share that one with you. And increasing, please. Okay, for the next one, we're back in Japan. This is the Tokyo Metro. And John, maybe you'd like to read the sign out.
Yes, of course. So please inform the station staff or train crew immediately if you notice any suspicious unclaimed objects or persons in the station or on the train. Thank you for your cooperation.
So is that a good sign?
I wouldn't have said so.
What's wrong for you?
So unclaimed people in the station.
Unless that's what they mean. That's what happened. That's what happens on the Tokyo Metro. There are lots of people walking around, maybe kids who haven't been claimed, and that's where you go to get them. So, it's an unclaimed person there. I'm going to claim them.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, or kind of, what would they call them? They call the guys that go out drinking late at night is I can't remember what they call them, but when they're really drunk on the platform, maybe they feel unclaimed.
Yeah. So claim your salary man today.
Yes, claim your salary man. Yeah.
Yes. How would you correct that sign then?
You
were writing signs on the Tokyo Metro, which could be your next job if things don't work out because of the global pandemic.
Well, yes,
an application.
That will be my first move to go to a Japanese train company. So I would guess suspicious people or persons, I guess, in the station. So you would have to divide it, wouldn't you? So if you notice any suspicious persons or unclaimed objects in the station or on the train.
Exactly. All you need to do is put persons after suspicious, and that works, or unclaimed objects, or suspicious. You might have to repeat the words, unclaimed objects, suspicious persons or unclaimed objects, I would say.
Yeah. That would work, definitely.
That would work, yeah. The next one, back to China. This is on a plane. And again, I don't know what we can correct here, but it's just sometimes the signs just are so strange. This is quite funny. Use bottom cushion for flotation. What does that mean?
I guess it means that what you're sitting on, you can use for floating on if you land in the sea.
You don't need the plane. Just use your bottom cushion, and you can float.
Yeah, but that's only if you crash land, right? If you're in the sea, you kind of pick up your bottom cushion and you hold on to it.
We might need a Chinese speaker to help with some of these.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it might not be right.
No. So the next one, back in Spain, can you read out what we've got here?
Sure. Staff needed. Drop your CV every day after 8 p.m.
Yes.
That's good advice. Where do you think you should drop it? Do you think you should drop it just in front of the sign?
Yes, good point. I didn't think of that actually. I was just thinking you have to go there every day after not once. Not once. So if I had it yesterday, no, you have to drop in your CV every day if you want this job. Come back tomorrow. But if you do it for 300 days in a row, then maybe we'll consider hiring you.
Yeah, that'd be curious. I mean, see what they'd say about that one. That was in Spain, though, you said. So they were obviously looking for a native English speaker.
Yeah. Someone who could correct signs.
That's what they needed them for a correct sign.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you should try it, though. Just drop your CV every day after 8 p.m. and see what would happen.
So what would you say then if you wanted to correct it?
So drop in your CV every weekday, or any weekday. You'd probably say any weekday after 8 p.m.
Oh, very good. You should be a sign writer, really. You're brilliant.
Should be a sign writer. I should be like an English teacher or something as well, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I invited you today, John, because you're quite clearly brilliant. You know, Matt Damon wanted to be on this podcast, but I said, no, Matt, your grammar and your sign writing's not as good as John. So
well,
goodbye.
He's particularly poor at sign writing. Apparently he did a course and he failed it. So that's the reason why.
Okay. They're back in Paris here. I think this shop doesn't exist anymore. But when you give a name to your shop, maybe just check a little bit if the word of your shop, the name of your shop, means something else in another language, particularly English, because this is a decoration shop, a decor shop in Paris, which is called SAD Decor. What do you think, John? Would you buy
I'm not sure.
Decoration products there?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would buy from there, no, because it suggests that inside they have some sad decorations. But, you know, I mean, if you're a goth or something like that, perhaps you want something sad.
Yeah, if you want to do, I know, paint your windows black or something.
Exactly.
Or something dark and sad, then that's the place to go. Really get a lot of customers like that. So do check the name. It reminds me, I haven't got a picture of it, but there was also a restaurant in Paris, which was a fusion one between Italian food and Japanese food. And it was called Sushi Ita, but it contained the word shit in it. Sushi Ita. Sushita. Sushita was called. And I thought, no, you just check. No, that's wrong. Maybe neither of them spoke any English, but I don't know.
Yeah, they're quite ridiculous things, aren't they, for a native speaker? But, you know, I guess if you're not a native speaker, you don't pick up on it, do you? Or you don't notice it?
I guess not. So for our final sign, we return to London. And this is Covent Garden, a famous restaurant in Covent Garden. And to my knowledge, it's still there. And this is a very old sign. And yes, there's a grammatical mistake, but that's not really my complaint. Can you spot the grammatical mistake?
So it would be an apostrophe. You need an apostrophe between the N and the S. So it's tradesman's entrance.
Yes, exactly. But my complaint is that in modern parlance, the term tradesman's entrance has another meaning.
Does it now?
You don't know this, John?
I don't actually know. I'm quite naive, though.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, I thought I did. I thought everybody knew this one. Okay.
Okay.
The sheltered life. The tradesman's entrance is your ass.
Ah. Okay.
Your asshole. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. I mean, maybe that's a London thing. I don't know.
Okay, but it is, yeah.
Okay.
So it appeals to my childish sense of humor that they would have a sign saying that. But as I said, maybe I'm the only one who thought it was funny.
Well, I can understand.
I'm a sad individual.
Yeah, I mean, if you enter the tradesman's entrance a number of times, then I can see why you would chortle a little bit, snigger. But yeah, no, I've not heard that phrase. That's intriguing me now. I'm going to look it up.
Okay, well there you are. If you're learning English, you've learned a new expression, which some native speakers know and others don't.
But that is a curious thing, isn't it? Because as a native speaker, you obviously don't know everything, and it's just a phrase, it's a slang expression, isn't it, really? So yeah, you've caught me out.
Yeah. So there you are. That is a varied selection of some of the signs I've taken, some of the pictures I've taken. There are many more, but I think maybe we'd stop there. But John, here's your moment in the sun. Tell everyone who you are.
John of English teaching fame, who also does a podcast called English with Monty, which has the lovely Gideon on it too. So yeah, just search for English with Monty wherever you find your podcasts.
Okay, well, thank you for watching and listening, guys, and catch you next time. Remember to find out Zeitgeist Banana, our podcast too. Catch you next time.
Yeah,
Bye.
catch you next time. Bye.